Hello, ladies. Welcome to day 2, which is from potential to real alignment. Before we begin today, I want you to notice something. Yesterday, we did something very important. We didn't just talk about dating patterns, we met the feeling underneath them. We talk about the independent achiever, the romantic, the situationship woman. All of these patterns have something in common. They don't activate because you are not smart. They activate because your body is trying to create safety. Yesterday, we practiced letting the feeling be there without immediately acting from it. And that is the beginning of self-leadership. Because a woman who can stay with herself does not need to chase, that does not need to convince, does not need to overgive. She can observe, she can feel, and she can choose. But today, we are going one step deeper. Because in real dating, the question is not only, do I know my standards? You can know your standards. You can have your love list. You can know what you want. And still, there is one place where many women get confused. It is the space between potential and real alignment. Because sometimes a man looks good on paper. He says the right things, he has the right values. He may even say he wants marriage, but he may feel emotionally available in moments and at some moments not. And the deeper question here when this happens is he really actually ready to build? Is he consistent enough to be trusted? Is he responsive to you? Can he respect your pace? Can he lead with clarity? Can he repair when something goes wrong? Because potential says he could become this, but alignment says he is already showing me this. So this is something we really need to be aware of. I recommend you for today's workshop, not only that you have maybe a notebook if you want to take some notes, and that you have a space with no distractions, but also that you feel free to write in the chat or in YouTube, to ask questions, even if we reply to them in the end. Also, to when I say repeat this with me, that you repeat it in the chat or out loud, that you really participate, because this work really is about participating. So, going back to the topic, the potential lives in your imagination, but alignment lives in his behavior. And this is what we need to observe. I really want you to remember this sentence. If you can write it down, that's perfect. Because potential is what you see he could become. And alignment is what he is already demonstrating. Potential can say he could be such a good partner if he opened up more. But alignment says he is already showing consistency, clarity, and care. Another example, potential can say, he said he wants a family one day. But alignment really says his current decisions are moving in that direction. Another one good example is he has, when it comes to potential, he has so much depth underneath. But alignment will tell us he communicates with maturity now. And this is where many women lose years. Not with terrible men necessarily. That's not always the problem. Many women lose years with men who have potential, but no embodied readiness. And I know this very personally. There was a time in my life where I was exactly there. I could see potential very clearly. I could feel connection, but I stayed longer than I should. I gave more than I should. Not because I don't know better, but because my body was still attached to potential. And that's what took me time to learn. Because remember, a man can like you and still not be ready to build. And this is important, and we will go deeper in this today. Because a man can really like you and not be ready. A man can desire you and not be ready. A man can also admire you and not be ready. He can even feel emotionally connected to you and still not have the inner structure to build. And this is where women get confused because we think, but the connection is real, and maybe it is. But connection is not commitment, it's not dating for marriage. Chemistry is not direction, and potential is not alignment. So the question here is not, does he like me? The feminine pattern often is asking, does he like me? Is he thinking about me? Is he going to text me? Did I say the wrong thing? But the wise queen, which we will talk about it today, this wise queen concept, asks different questions. She's asking, is he clear? Is he consistent? Is he responsive? Is he investing? Does my body feel more peaceful with him over time? Does he make my life feel more supported or more confusing? This is a completely different way of dating. Because now you are not auditioning, you are observing. So now we're gonna get to the 4 signs of real alignment. This is a framework that I was building when I was doing my own dating process before I got married. Because as you know, in the past, around 7-8 years ago, I was struggling with abusive relationships, with situationships that were leading nowhere. And then I was applying all these concepts and learning everything. And then I became a married woman with provision, support, direction, and structure. So these 4 signs were meticulously built. Sign number 1 is readiness. Readiness means, is this man actually in a season of life where commitment makes sense to him? Not someday, not theoretically, but now. Because a man can say, oh, I want marriage one day. But the question is his life currently organized around building? Does he really have direction? Does he have emotional space? Does he have integrity with his own word? Does he have the desire to create something stable? Readiness is not just what he says he wants. It is what his life is available for. Number 2 is responsiveness. This is one of the most important things to look for. Responsiveness means, does he actually respond to who you are? Not just your beauty, not just your energy, not just the way you make him feel, but your values, your needs, your pace, your standards, your dreams, your emotional reality. A responsive man listens, he remembers, he adapts, he wants to understand you deeply. He doesn't make you feel difficult for having needs. He doesn't punish you for having a pace. He doesn't disappear when you express something real. Because a man who is aligned with you will not only be attracted to you, he will care about the woman inside the beauty. Sign number 3 is responsibility. This is where we look at masculine energy in a very grounded way. Responsibility is not about him controlling you. It is not about dominance. It is not about performance. It is about whether he can carry his part. Can he make a plan? Can he follow through? Can he communicate clearly? Can he take initiative? Can he protect the connection from unnecessary confusion? Can he move things forward without you having to manage everything in the back? Because many high achieving women are used to leading. So when a man gives them a little bit of potential, they unconsciously start building the relationship for him. They explain, they help, they wait, they make excuses, they organize the emotional space. But a wise queen does not build a man into readiness. She lets him reveal whether readiness is already there. And the fourth sign is repair. This one is huge because every man will make mistakes. Every connection will have moments of misunderstanding. Every early dating process will have little moments where something feels off. So the question is not, is he perfect? The question is, can he repair? If he cancels, does he make a new plan? If he says something that lands wrong, can he hear you? If there is a misunderstanding, does he become defensive? Or does he want to understand? If you express a boundary, for example, is he punishing you? Or does he respect you? Repair tells you much more than charm. Because charm is easy when everything is going well. But repair shows emotional maturity. So I'm going to tell you now, what are the 5 real life moments where a man reveals himself? Because now we know the signs. Yesterday we were discovering our patterns and how to start fixing our patterns. Today we are seeing what are the signs that we need to look for in a man ready for commitment. But now we need to know also, where are the real life moments where a man is revealing himself? This is what we need to look into. And these are the situations where we can let this shine and show. Moment number 1, when plans need clarity. Notice what happens when plans need to become real. Does he say, let's do something sometime? Or is he saying, I'd love to see you. Are you free Thursday or Friday? Vague interest is not the same as masculine direction. If he's truly interested and ready, he really brings clarity. And if he's not clear yet, you don't need to chase clarity. You can simply say, that sounds lovely. Let me know when you have a plan. And then you observe, not from anxiety, but from peace. This peace we were working yesterday in day 1. Moment number 2, when you have boundaries. The second moment is this one, because this one is happening very often. And it's very important that we set our boundaries in the beginning. Maybe you move slowly physically. Maybe you don't do last-minute dates. Maybe you need consistency before emotional intimacy. Maybe you don't want to be texting all day without real plans. Your boundary is not there to control him. It is there to reveal alignment. A man who is really aligned may not be perfect, but he will respect the direction. He may ask questions, yes. He may need to understand, but he won't mock you. He won't pressure you. He won't make you feel guilty. He won't disappear just because you have self-respect. Your standards do not scare the right man. They orient him. This we need to tattoo in our brain sometimes. What is the moment number 3 when intimacy escalates? This is where many women confuse desire with devotion. A man may desire access to you very often. Your body, your softness, your emotional energy, your attention, your nurturing. But desire is not the same as devotion. So the question becomes, is he increasing access without increasing responsibility? Is he asking for more closeness without creating more clarity? Is he enjoying your feminine energy without protecting the container? This is not about making men wrong. It is about seeing clearly. A man can desire you deeply, yes, and still not be ready to honor you properly. The wise queen enjoys attraction, but she does not confuse attraction with alignment. That's why in other courses I've been teaching why dating for marriage and why waiting for marriage, which is somehow in there, is dating for marriage. For me means waiting for marriage. And that's why in some courses we are also teaching how important this is, so that you understand in your head why you are doing that. Because if you are waiting for marriage without knowing why, without having it clear, without really believing that there's someone who will wait for marriage, which is not real. Men can wait. The real good men, committed, they will wait. But if you don't have this clear, then it's difficult for you to believe, and then you will fall again into the same trap. If you are not convinced, if you don't understand the basics of that. And this is why I teach it in some other courses, because it's really important to know. So if you have this course, I advise you to go back to it and really revise it. So what is moment 4? When he talks about the future. This one is very subtle. Some men create emotional bonding through future language. We should travel together. You would be such a good mother. I can see myself with someone like you. I've never felt this way before. And those things may be beautiful, but a wise queen does not attach to words alone. She asks, is there present behavior behind the future language? Is he actually moving toward commitment? Is he actually getting to know me seriously? Is he making space in his life? Is he consistent after the beautiful conversation? Because future talk without present investment creates fantasy bonding. And fantasy bonding is one of the ways women fall in love with potential. And lastly, moment number 5. When something goes wrong. This is where you learn the most. Not when everything is romantic, not when the date is beautiful, not when he is pursuing, but when there is friction. When there is a misunderstanding, when he disappoints you, when you express something, when plans change, when you need emotional maturity. You need to see if he is repairing. Does he take responsibility? Does he become clearer? Or does he make you feel like your needs are the problem? This is where alignment reveals itself. And I have an example of this because before my marriage, I was doing rotational dating and so on. And I had a man who was very high on the dating pool. And we had suddenly an issue about jealousy. Like he was extremely jealous about some situation. And I put all the means, everything that was in me available for him to relax about it. I was offering everything. And he, for example, like we were saying, he was not able to take responsibility for his extreme behavior, for example. He was really not able to admit what he was going through. So he admitted it indirectly, because he was somehow saying it, but then when you ask him directly, he would not admit it. And this is exactly what happens. Making a mistake, or not necessarily making a mistake initially, you can have these jealousy feelings, completely normal, but there are better ways to deal with it. And if you've learned to do that, you would communicate it and everything, this is another topic. But he was not able to. So then there was somehow a mistake. But I was super patient and super open to, okay, let's fix it, let's see how we can do. And then his response to that was, "You are crazy. I'm not gonna fix this with you. I don't have anything to fix. I will not work on anything." And this shows you that this person cannot fix any mistake, is not able to repair, is not able to be emotionally responsible, to understand his emotions, to fix anything related to that. So this was giving me the key sign. Okay, I gave him the chance, even though, extreme jealousy was not on my love list, of course, but I'm human too. And I'm able to accept and grow together, of course. We should be open to see, okay, this person has this issue, but how is he dealing with that? And this we need to give the chance to see how they do. I gave the chance, I observed, and then I decided I go. Like, you are out of the dating rotation. So now, I don't want this to become another mental checklist, okay? Like these moments, this sign. I don't want you to have a checklist here. I want you to flow like you were doing yesterday in our day one. Because this is what many high achieving women do. They learn the information, they understand the framework, they write down the signs, and then in the moment, their body takes over. The romantic sees potential. The independent achiever starts managing. The situationship woman starts waiting, or all of them at the same time. Some of you, yesterday we were talking about, you were feeling like the three of them. So today, we are not just going to understand alignment, we are going to embody the woman who can see it. Because the woman who dates from anxiety looks for reassurance, but the wise queen looks at reality. She doesn't need to force, she doesn't need to chase, she doesn't need to interrogate. She simply observes. She lets men reveal themselves, and she stays connected to herself. For those of you who are new here, let me briefly share how I work. My background, my university background, is in linguistics. I studied how language shapes perception, identity, and behavior. I also trained and was even working for years in performing arts, ballet, theater, movement, even movies. And later, I became a life coach, integrating all of this into one system. And today, my work combines nervous system regulation, movement and embodiment, NLP, neurolinguistics programming, and conscious traditional dating principles, like we were teaching today more specifically. And this is not theory for me. It's lived, it's embodied. Everything I've tried. So now we are gonna do a practical exercise. So get comfortable, because this is not visualization only. This is embodiment. Think that actors don't just imagine characters, they become them. And today we are doing the same. We are going to meet the version of you who does not date from urgency, the version of you who does not fall in love with potential, the version of you who can receive attention, enjoy attraction, and still stay deeply connected to reality. So this is your wise queen, okay? This is the wise queen exercise, and we're gonna start now. So get comfortable, close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath. You can put your hand in your chest if you wanna feel it deeper. We really focus on the breath. And we observe how the air goes in and out through our nose. Keep breathing. Keep your eyes closed if you can, if you are in a situation where you can. And imagine the version of you who dates with ease. She doesn't rush, she doesn't force, she doesn't overthink. She doesn't try to prove her value. She doesn't need a man to choose her quickly so she can feel safe. She's already safe inside herself. She enjoys being pursued. She enjoys connection. But she does not abandon herself inside connection. Notice her. How does she sit? How does she breathe? How does she hold her shoulders? How does she receive attention? How does she respond when a man is interested? How does she respond when a man is unclear? How does she respond when she feels chemistry? Notice the pace of her body. She's not rushed. She's not collapsed. She's not chasing. She is present. This is your wise queen. Keep breathing there. Now gently open your eyes and without thinking too much, adjust your body to match her. Soft shoulders, long spine, relaxed jaw, open chest, slow breath. Let your body become the posture of the woman who already knows her worth. In acting, we say emotion follows action. We don't wait to feel confident, we move as confidence. We don't wait to feel chosen. We move as the woman who is already chosen by herself. We don't wait to feel calm. We allow the body to enter calm first, and the nervous system follows. Keep breathing into it. Now choose one sentence your wise queen would say in early dating. Just think about it. Give yourself 1-2 minutes. Write it down if you wish. I had one coming up, so I was writing it down. And I will give you some recommendations. If in this moment nothing came up, I anyways want you to have, during this exercise, some options. I observe reality. I don't date potential. I allow men to reveal themselves. I don't need to make him ready. Aligned love feels clear, consistent, and peaceful. I can enjoy connection without abandoning myself. Think about them. Choose the one that your body responds to. And now, holding this wise queen posture, say it internally. And again, feel the sentence in your body. Not as an affirmation, as an identity. This is anchoring. You are teaching your nervous system a new association. Dating does not have to mean anxiety. Chemistry does not have to mean losing yourself. A man's interest does not have to become your obsession. You can stay here. You can stay in your body. You can stay in your queen. Keep breathing. Keep your eyes closed if you can. Now imagine a real dating moment. Maybe he texts you something vague. Maybe he says, let's see each other sometime. Maybe he is charming but not very clear. Maybe you feel the familiar pull, the part of you that wants to help, the part of you that wants to explain, the part of you that wants to make it easier for him. And now stay in the wise queen posture. Let her respond. She doesn't chase. She doesn't close. She doesn't become cold. She simply stays open and clear. She might say, "That sounds lovely. Let me know when you have a plan." And then she returns to herself. No anxiety, no waiting by the phone, no building a fantasy, just presence. Now imagine another moment. He wants more access, more intimacy, more of your energy. But your body knows it needs more clarity first. Stay in the wise queen posture. Feel your breath and let her speak. She might say, "I'm enjoying getting to know you and I move slowly. Clarity and consistency are important to me." Notice how that feels. Not defensive, not apologetic, not harsh, just true. This is feminine leadership. Soft, clear, embodied. Now take one more breath and notice what changed. We didn't force positive thinking. We didn't create dating rules. We changed posture. We changed breath. We changed language. We changed identity. And this is why dating changes when identity changes. Because the woman who dates from fear looks for reassurance, but the wise queen observes reality. She lets a man reveal his readiness. She lets his actions speak. She does not need to turn potential into commitment. She receives what is real, and she chooses from there. You can now open your eyes, look somewhere in the room, move your hands and your feet, and keep feeling this wise queen energy. This is something you should already be embodying. Now, what you just experienced is very important because this is the difference between information and embodiment. You can know the signs, you can understand potential versus alignment. You can write the perfect love list. But if your body still feels unsafe when a man pulls away, or when chemistry appears, or when you need to express a boundary, you will go back into the old pattern. And this is why this work cannot stay at the level of information. Inside Marriage Queen Mentorship, this is exactly what we practice: regulating your nervous system, releasing the emotional pattern that make you chase, overgive, or wait, opening your body to receive love, support, provision, and masculine presence, and rising into the woman who can actually hold the relationship, the marriage, and the life she says she wants. This is not just about learning what an aligned man looks like. It is about becoming the woman who can recognize him, receive him, and not sabotage the connection through fear. And also becoming the woman who can walk away peacefully when it is not aligned, like in the example I was telling you. That is power, not control, not hardness, power. And this is why I created the Marriage Queen Mentorship, a 12-week space where you don't just understand this work, you start living it. This is not a course. This is where your nervous system regulates, your patterns soften, and your standards become natural. We move through 4 phases. I explained them completely yesterday, so I advise to go to day 1 and check them. And the 4 phases are regulate, release, receive, and rise. And we go from survival to embodiment all the way to embodiment of the dream woman. And what is with the investment of this program? So for me, I don't want to keep it like a 20,000 euro investment or something that is not for any women, because I really want this to be accessible to any women who is really achieving and driven. And I know more or less where their budget is for coaching is really high because they are really focused on self-growth. But sometimes there are things in life. So I can also not keep it into 500 or 1,000 euro or $1,000 because it also requires commitment and really staying there and really valuing it. So at this price, one is not really valuing so much. So the real investment for this is 2,997 euros, closely around $3,100 for the full payment all at once, or 3 payments of 1,100 euros, approximately 1,150, $1,200 US dollars. And these are weekly calls, deep somatic work, feminine embodiment, and support throughout the whole process. Real contact with me to support you. Now, some of you don't just need this work from home. Some of you need and want and desire a space where your body can finally relax, where you are not holding everything and you get to be held. A space where this work moves from your mind into your body. So for a small number of women, I've opened something deeper, a live immersion in south of Spain. This is not a retreat simply. It is the in-person integration of everything we do. Of course, with a retreat taste, because it is relaxing, we have yoga, we have meditation, we have peaceful environment. Of course, it looks like a retreat, but it's really the integration of everything we do in the program and everything we do in the play shops. It is a space where you experience being supported, being guided, being held, being in your feminine without effort. When the body experiences safety deeply, everything changes. And in these 5 days, you really experience that. So, this includes the 12-week mentorship, the online one, plus the South of Spain immersion, villa, meals, sessions, and an intimate group. And the full experience with everything is 4,500 euros. Or 5,350 euros paid in full. So yes, payment plan is available. And for this is 4 months period instead of 3. So there are 2 ways to enter. The online mentorship or the full immersive retreat experience. It is not about better or worse. It is about what your body knows it needs. The immersion, it is very small. For now, for this founding beginning moment of the retreat, of the immersion, I'm only opening now 6 spots. At this price, and for a long time, I will only open these 6 spots. I think when I'm approaching the day of the retreat, I will be opening a few more at a different price, of course, much higher. But these 6 spots are very exclusive right now. And yes, this work needs depth, and that requires intimacy. So, where and when is it? It is in Malaga, a city in the south of Spain with international airport reachable from almost anywhere in the world. And when it is at the end of September, beginning of October, when the weather is the best in this area, for you to completely relax. And this is the founding edition, and it will never exist like this again exactly. So if you feel called, we'll explore it together privately. No pressure, just alignment. You don't need more motivation. You need a space where your body feels safe enough to stop controlling and start receiving. And I want you to be very honest with yourself. How many times have you seen potential and hoped it could become alignment? How many times have you stayed just a little longer than you knew you should? Let me know in the comments if you felt like this. And how much time do you want to lose there, where you are right now? Maybe starting dating but not having it very clear. Maybe you've been dating for a long time and you still keep repeating the same patterns and you still keep seeing the same man. So if you feel called to this work, I don't want you to decide from pressure. I want you to check in with your body. Does this feel expansive? Does it feel clear? Does something in you know I'm ready to stop doing this alone? After this session, I'll open private conversations. I'll send you my calendar and we'll look at where you are, what you desire, what patterns are still active, and whether the online mentorship or the full immersive experience in South of Spain is the right next step for you. So this is not about convincing you, this is about alignment. If this is for you, your body will know. And if it is not, that is okay too. But if you know that you are ready to stop dating potential and start becoming the woman who can receive real alignment, then reach out. Use the application link and we'll explore it together. So yes, you don't need to become suspicious of men. As a summary of today, you need to become deeply connected to yourself. Because when you are connected to yourself, you don't need to decode everything. You see, you feel, you observe, and you choose. That is the wise queen. And that is the woman we build inside this framework, inside the Marriage Queen program, inside Reina Interior universe, inside everywhere and everything we do here. All the play shops, all the programs, all the courses to support if you are on the programs or if you are not and you are starting. All of this, that's how it helps you. So this is the end of day 2. I will let you know if we have a third day, maybe next week, because I'm thinking it would be nice to have a little bonus. Maybe a bonus where you can talk a little more, where you have more time to do more questions, where we open some topics that will lead us to share together a bit more of an intimate day as a bonus for this play shop at the end of April, which is a beautiful time of the year, at least for me. So let's keep in touch in the communities, in social media, and I will let you know by email in all the places about the third day that we will have, most likely next week, because this weekend I'm celebrating my birthday in my hometown, so I will be a bit busy. But next week, somewhere in between of the week, we will have this third day because I want to enjoy more and hear more about you with these marvelous topics we were covering these days. So stay in touch and have a nice beginning of the weekend. I don't know if it's holiday for most of you tomorrow, but for most of us here in Europe, it is. So I send you a lot of love and see you next week.